So let's get into this. I'm not going to take up too much time, give you a bit of a flavour. So number one, always start with a plan. What is your plan? Seems really basic, I know, but this is more to get you thinking before you jump into it feet first and make any bad decisions. But think about your long-term goals. What are you investing for? What are you looking to get out of it? Are you looking for cash flow? Are you looking to just have something somewhere sound to put your money that's going to mature in value? Are you looking to give up your day job and commit to it full time? You want to build a large portfolio or just a couple of bits on the side? What are you getting into it for? Form the basis of what is right for you, and don't just buy what someone else's idea of a good investment is, as it may not suit your needs. So really think about that. Seek financial advice before viewing. I can speak from experience on this. I a little while ago tried to buy an ex-council flat. Seemed like a good deal at the time, but when I started exploring my options, there was a few factors that were limiting. Actually turns out there's not much appetite to lend on a very cheap ex-council flat. If it was an ex-council house, it would have been a lot easier, but it's proved quite difficult. So if I'd have known all that before provisionally accepting the deal, obviously I could have saved a lot of time and hassle and effort on both mine and the seller's part and all that sort of stuff. So definitely speak from experience, seek financial advice first, know your numbers, know the viability, understand the criteria for the buy-to-let mortgage, all that sort of thing. And of course, having done this shows you're a really serious buyer and strengthens your position during negotiation. And anyone who knows me well knows that negotiation is something that I really take seriously, and it's something that I absolutely love. And of course, sellers and agents, again, speaking from an agent's point of view here, they need confidence in your ability to move forward quickly, especially if you're looking to get a good deal wrapped up and really sell yourself as a buyer to their vendor. Budgeting. It isn't just the purchase price to consider. Now, I know, again, it seems pretty basic, but it's just there to get you thinking. Make sure you factor in maintenance costs, renovations, agency fees, mortgage fees, legal fees, insurance costs. Quite often gets missed when I see people doing their calculations. Stamp duty, all the stuff that goes, it all has to be factored in when you're looking at a deal. So always make sure you budget properly before making an offer. Think about the type of tenant you want to attract. Obviously, it goes without saying, if you're trying, for example, if you're trying to attract a retired couple that are going to be nice and easy to deal with and lovely to chat to and see out their remaining years in your property and really look after it and all that sort of thing, you've got to make sure that you buy the right product that's going to attract them. So think about what type of tenant you want, think about what sort of market you want to be in, and just make sure the property is presented to suit the target audience, make sure it's in the right area, all that sort of stuff. Rentability. Now, I'm not even sure this is a real word. It actually came up on spell checker when I put it in there, but I ignored it and I went with it anyway. But rentability, so what do I mean by that? What is the tenant demand for the area and who's likely to be interested? Does it suit your ideal tenant? What amenities are nearby? Is it near a hospital? Is it, a train station? What's going to make your property really wanted by potential tenants, and will the demand remain strong for years to come? Always think about that for long term. Explore the market. Use all of the tools available to research what properties are available. Engage with estate agents, letting agents, get yourself out there, buying agents, property sources. There's all sorts of people out there. Check out auctions, use the portals, research most reduced. Look for sales that have just fallen through. Good one, good little tip here when you're looking for. I've had a few questions about how to source deals or how to get reasonable deals and all that kind of thing, or how to get estate agents to offer you things when they should be doing the best for their client and opening it up to the whole market. Do you know what? Look for sales that have fallen through, because if they're in a chain and they don't want to lose their purchase, they're going to be quite motivated. So just really put in the legwork, and if you know what to look for and you can implement that, then I'm sure there'll be bits and pieces out there for you. And obviously just be confident you're making the right purchase by comparing options. Haggle the price. Have a negotiation plan. Always ask the key questions, fact finds, find out the seller's motivation. Like I say, if the sale's just fallen through, they're in a chain, they might be more motivated to tie something up and not lose a purchase. Find out all of this information, then set a target price for yourself, create a plan of where to start, when to increase, how much buy, when to throw in a best and final, when to walk away, all that sort of stuff, and just negotiate properly to try and get yourself the best deal. Nothing wrong with it at all. Research restrictions in the area. Obviously, there's a lot of councils in England, and There's various different schemes that could go above and beyond normal mandatory licensing. So obviously HMOs, this is probably more aimed at if you're looking at that kind of market, which is another set of rules altogether. There's additional licensing, selective licensing. It all comes at extra cost. It all comes at extra time restraint and extra legwork. So again, just make sure you do the right research before you get into anything like that, especially with something like a HMO. Insurances, protection. I actually did a bit of content around insurances before, and when I started really delving into landlord insurance and the different products and companies and what's included and what's not, it's an absolute minefield. I had no idea how many clauses there were that you need to check. So I think the key thing is just read policies properly, make sure it covers things like tenant damage. If something serious happens, you had to rehouse the tenant whilst work's being done, make sure it covers the cost of that, make sure it covers against storm damage, fire damage, all that sort of stuff. There's a lot of things that you need to think about. So just make sure you read the small print. And always consider your responsibilities and legal obligations. Obviously there's a hell of a lot of legislation. You're here, you're in front of us, you know that, and the fact that you're here obviously means you're educating yourself, which is fantastic. And obviously your tenant has access to everything to try and trip you up if anything goes wrong. So you just need to make sure that you understand what you've got to be doing to do it right, keep yourself safe and compliant, and make sure that you don't fall into any traps.